Good day everyone, this is Captain Krautzer. Today we are looking at the Odin, the German Tier 8 Premium. With the release of 0.10.7, she got a huge buff, namely the secondary buff. Previously, thanks to the commander rework, her secondaries became less than ideal. But the previously, her secondaries was decent. Mainly because of her concealment and her secondary range, which gives her very special playstyle. Compared to all other secondary ships, that is not the new German battlecruisers, she has better concealment than other secondary ships, which her concealment is very close to her secondary range, compared to something like Tirpitz or Massachusetts. This means Odin has, very decent, very different playstyle than the same tier secondary ships. She can conceal, she can sneak up, and use her secondaries. But the 0.10.0 with the commander rework, everything was gone. She lost that ability, despite the fact that she got actually survivability and the concealment for free now, which previously she had to sacrifice one to get one. Now she actually can get both, and with the latest change, she can also get speed, which means this stealthy secondary boat can get to 34 knots and can easily get to any position that she wants to in a short time period. To me, this makes Odin much more better than what she used to be, but she's still not completed. But we will only see what will happen in the future. But for now, let's look at this match. Currently, I'm looking for reaching this island chain while firing at the Pommern, which is rushing into the cap. He's a bit of an easy play, and I'm just gonna farm him for now. Meanwhile, thanks to that I'm coming here, the Alsace cannot actually shoot me, which that Alsace is HE spamming, which can end really bad for the Odin, because the Odin has a really good armor scheme for her size, because she's one of the smallest battleships of the tier, but she's like covered in huge amounts of armor that you can bounce any shell or shatter most of the HE, but you cannot really deflect the fire. By that reason, I'm saving myself from that. Alsace was a really good move, but now that the Riga is farming. Meanwhile, I'm actually farming the Pommern with my main guns and the secondaries, and I just move a bit forward to get the Riga behind the island as well, and now I'm free against that Pommern. This new secondary change made Odin, for me at least, very fun. Concealed, kinda hard hitting, and fast. It's a very fun experience, and I highly recommend that. I will show my commander build as well in the end of the match, actually after the match. So just stay around for now. The Gdańsk now is pushing, so I decided to move for that second island in front. I'm gonna go there and sit there, because if anyone wanna push towards the cap, I'm gonna have their broadside. But they gonna be aware that I'm there, so they are not really gonna push there. Instead, they're gonna go back to their spawn, should I say. Currently, I'm just rushing towards the island. That island positioning will be very good, mainly because of, you know, just not only tanking them, but also going back and healing, and then coming out again. It's one better tactic while pushing in. You can see that I can just farm their battleships while I'm now about to go dark. I'm actually not going to dark. The Kitakaze is gonna be spotting me, but he starts smoking up. This means I'm now stealthy. That Kitakaze gonna go a bit out there, so she's gonna just. I'm gonna be focusing out on her. She's out of her smoke. She can spot me easily, and she's also farming me, so I can do damage to her in any way I want. Now she's gone back into her smoke, and I kinda wanted to angle myself against the torpedoes of the Kitakaze, but I think I went a bit too fast, and now I'm in the outer way. But Organize now is rushing in. He's doing this for no reason. If that Alsace actually had AP loaded, he was already dead probably. But this allowed me to actually go a bit more behind, because other than the Gneisenau now and there's actually no one else. Everyone is in the middle of the cap, and we have nothing to go against the Alsace, the Riga, and the Richelieu there. Thus, I decided to wait for that radar and handle with the Kitakaze along with my team. The Kitakaze eat a torp, and he's about to die. And with that, I'll get myself more into this battle by moving in against Richelieu. I'm gonna stay angled against Richelieu and use my secondaries while I'm gonna focus on the Riga. I want Riga to stay as angled as possible, so he will like use less guns, like only the gun on the stern, but still there's a reloads. And one of the things about the Odin, her secondary angles are trash. She has one of the worst secondary angles. Despite being a very decent secondary ship with, you know, good consummate and now a good survivability as well, she doesn't really bring the secondaries into bear. While even angles like this, you really cannot use all of your secondaries. At least they can penetrate 32mm, which means I can just sit here and farm the enemy Richelieu with no trouble. I'm also gonna switch to HE, so when I set a fire, and if he damage controls, I can set fire again easily thanks to, you know, the secondaries. German secondaries actually doesn't have that much of a fire chance, but still it's something good. I switch back to AP because ODDs are actually rushing him, gonna make him give broadside to me, probably. At least that was what I was thinking. But ODDs actually rush him and finish them off. And with the cooldown on my heal also coming up as well, I decided to rush the Alsace. The Alsace is only ship that is actually rushing us now, and that Riga and their DD is basically playing like a long range cruisers. it actually allows me to go in against this Alsace. I have huge amounts of armor that he really cannot do much if I'm angled. But well, she's using HE, which means this armor is now useless because he can just set fires or do as much as damage as he wants to onto my superstructure. I decided to give both sides to Riga, in a bit to the other side torpedoes as well, but now the only thing that I want to do is actually stay angled against the Riga, so until the Alsace dies, I don't die. But the match is over. We did a great job after 1 year of not playing the Odin, and that's the match. 150k damage. We are on the top of the scoreboard. We did a really good job, if you ask me. We kind of prevented them. We kind of actually rolled them in this match, but it's still something. This was probably the greatest match that I had with the Odin over over the times that I didn't play with her. It's been like almost 7 or 8 months, maybe even longer than that. Like, because of the secondary nerfs, I really didn't touch her. But I have to say, after that, she's really good. Now, let's go back to port. And I will see you now then.
So, welcome back. I didn't really had footage for the commander build and the ship, and I will also talk about something more, which is about my return. But first, let's take on the Odin, because it will probably be why you are here. And let me first start with the equipment. I went with more HP on the secondaries, less chance of getting fire, secondary range, damage control system mod 2, because her turning is already decent enough that I can probably make use of this, but to be honest, every one of them can actually work on the Odin. She just has good amount of consumer that if you're getting fired on by long range HC spammer and there's no one to spot you, you can actually drop this to have maybe better maneuverability or better acceleration or deceleration, and all. Consume is must have, so that's no change. I have fighters because the range for the ship is enough considering her consummate. That's the build for in the upgrades, and for the commander build, I'm still experimenting. This can actually work on Odin and almost all the battleships and the new German battlecruisers, but the main thing is the brisk. The brisk allows Odin to reach 34 knots. It's not really a French style speed, but it allows you to get into positions that other secondary battleships doesn't get into, and you can actually pull off some really good plays with the brisk on the Odin, and also in the new German battlecruisers, because they have good concealment and they have good speed. Secondaries, obviously, and instead of the heal, which if they don't buff the new German battlecruisers, I might actually have to do up the 5 prevention for emergency repair expert, because they only have 3 heals, which is a bit of a weird considering their HP and their armor. It's a bit of a bad choice by Wargaming. I hope they actually buff them. And for last, I'm gonna go with Adrenaline Rush, but my commander is still 20 points. So this is the build on my side. You can change emergency repair to maybe gun feeder, or maybe not that, maybe something else. People people often don't use brisk. You can actually use something like this, or for the new German battle cruisers you can actually go with the IFHE. But I don't recommend IFHE on them because they just have so many secondaries that you can actually make use of them, like Ohio and Massachusetts and the Georgia. They just have so many secondaries that something gonna stick, like the Hichi, like the fire. Adrenaline Rush, to me this is like must have. On every ship this is like must have. I saw some people actually using this, but I don't really recommend this because you really don't get any, the time difference. But you can actually get huge amounts of time difference with this. But if you really want to have like tankiness, this can also work. Okay, with this one, the Odin, she's good, she's solid, and in my opinion she's the training ship for the new battle cruisers. Okay, let's go and let's talk. With this, the Odin part has done. So if you're only here for the Odin, I think you really don't have anything else left. Now I'm gonna talk a bit. So I'm returning to World of Warships. The main reason behind this is I couldn't find any game that is like World of Warships. There was only one, which is a Still Ocean, but it's gone. Its European server is actually closed. Only the Chinese server is left, which is slightly harder to get onto. Thus, there is only no other game like World of Warships. It's a sad part, but it's the truth. But I'm really not on Wargaming's side. I hate them. I hate them a lot, and I'm not really gonna spend anything, and maybe even make videos rarely, and even the live streams maybe happen in a different way. Maybe live stream World of Warships, maybe not, maybe live stream some other games. That can actually happen. Like that's the plan. The video that required heavily editing, I'm not really ready for it. There's a bunch of reasons. Mainly is that not many people actually joined in, and even like many things actually happen. Like the footage is also not really good. So I decided, okay, I'm passing that one, and I'm gonna move for the World of Warships again. What type of content that I'm gonna do is I'm still planning. Like some of them might end up being covering basics and making videos for the beginners, but there's just a bunch of them. But I might actually do very easy guide as well. I'm not sure if anyone will understand my own English or not. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna try. Other than that, I have the plan of revisiting the mines. The mines, actually just making the mines review. It's in a style that's in a different style. It's not the style that we have that I ever done, but I really wanna get a bit of a meme style. Other than that, yeah, I'm back. I'll be making more what ifs as well, which will probably start with the submarines. I still didn't play submarines, by the way, because I find them very boring. I just played them once, like 2 weeks ago when the first time that event dropped, and previously I played them very long time ago, and I still find them boring. There is really not so much of a challenge, and it feels like wargaming is just throwing them into a trot, which is not really good. Anyway, I hope you like it. Have a really good week. I'll be live streaming in the Twitch, and I will see you guys there.